live. This is One for the Record. I'm Diane, and today is June 23rd, 2013. It is Sunday morning, and here are your updates for today. Alrighty then. I have nothing new on the breaking news as of this moment, so we're going to go to the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Wow, looks like I'm frozen. I guess I was frozen for a minute. Are you up? Okay, let's get rid of this. That might make it faster. Get into the E&E News. Let's use a different browser. It's always good to have two browsers on your computer, because some browsers will be able to load one thing and then the other one can't. You know, I just always have two browsers, two ways in. Alright, nothing new. Let's try US-Canada. Hopefully we didn't wait for anything. Nothing here. Let's see. Yesterday, U.S. stayed on alert after nuclear... No, day before yesterday, so nothing new. U.S. stayed on alert after nuclear waste leak. Governor, this is most disturbing news. No immediate public health threat. Hanford. It's almost like, here's a Diana theory, it's almost like all these nuclear plants, and what if we did go into a war? What would happen? It's like a booby trap. Because let's say we get invaded somehow. If everyone stops manning the nuclear plants, then what happens? And the whole place goes, right? It's like the whole place is like booby trapped. I'm telling you. It's just a weird thought I had about all those nuclear plants. 144? And what happens when they're not manned? They all go. That's it. That's everything. Alright. So, it's just a thought out there. Alright. So, take care. I'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow. Be safe.
Fukushima, Japan.
Yeah. Anyway, so they were surprised that their Japanese counterparts didn't seem to be worried about it. In fact, according to the story that they tell on Fairwinds, they actually sat on it, and they have a picture of them sitting on this bench. And the person that wrote the story for the English YouTube said a boy sitting on that patch of fungus on that bench to watch a baseball game could do real damage to his gonads. It's 70 times the contaminated asphalt. And what they were saying was that if they don't clean up the radiation immediately, then the radiation interacts with the surface that it's sitting on, and it becomes bonded to it.
Really?
So cleaning it up after the fact is very, very difficult. Now, of course, they were over there hoping to get a contract to do the cleanup, as well as other American companies. And none of them were selected. They went with in-country Japanese firm to do the cleanup. And they went back three years later and said, well, we're still reading a lot of radiation. So
are we into the third year of the Fukushima event now?
Well, 2011, March.
Well, 12, 13. Well, this would be we're starting the third year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. The second year, but they've been over 3 times.
Okay.
So on their third trip over, which must have been this year sometime, they said it's still highly radioactive, and they're not sure that the cleanup is being done. And they're citing the fact that once the radiation has set for a while, it gets bonded to the surface. And apparently, I think that this is a real find. Is if this fungus, if they could bring home some of that fungus and test it to see if it could clean up radioactive material, and if it could, I think that would be a real. I think that would be a real help to our radionuclear community.
I think it would. It would.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now there's another story coming out, and this was published on today over in Japan, Kyodo News. And he's been examining these patients, mostly farmers, who who have stayed and continued to live in that area, that they're not in the evacuation area. And when he first started, that was 2 years ago then, that they used to be very robust and they had powerful voices. And now, 2 years later, they're unable to stand without assistance of family members. Some even need wheelchairs. They look depressed. And he's just saying they're stressed out. They can't farm. There's too much radiation in the soil, and they don't want to leave because their ancestors lived there. So societal feelings are that I want to stay here, and so they're trapped. And so they're getting depressed is the way that I would read that.
Right. Well, it's a shame. It's an absolute shame, isn't it?
Yeah, well, one thing about Americans is that they moved from England, and then they moved west, and then they moved past the Mississippi, and then the gold rush happened. They moved all the way to the next ocean before they stopped, and some of them even went to Hawaii, apparently. And who knows how far we would have gone if we hadn't been stopped at that point.
Right.
But the Japanese are not like that. They have a very homogeneous society. They worship their ancestors, and it's just their society does not help them in this particular instance, in this disaster that's occurred over there.
Right.
Now, we've got radiation coming in, and according to a diplomat from Japan, it's going to be coming in across the Pacific Ocean for the next 100 years. I mean, the tip of the iceberg is just what we've seen being washed up on the shores of California, Oregon, and Washington. And besides that, you've got the cesium problem. France has sent out and gathered information on cesium deposits along the west coast of the United States and into Canada, and there's considerable cesium-137 being deposited. When the winds carried the cesium and the strontium over, it ran into the Rocky Mountains, and so the wind slowed down, and it dropped what was in it, which was the radioactive cesium and strontium-90 and other radiological materials. So the whole west coast, the growing part anyway, is heavily contaminated with radiation. And across the bottom part of Canada also, I might add. It went got through the Rocky Mountains in the lower part of Canada and then just went pretty much east across the Great Lakes and then to the northeast and then out across the ocean to Greenland and England. So there were cases where it came down into the Midwest, but in the Midwest we do have electrical storms that go up 60,000 feet, and when the water drops form, they form on that radioactive material and bring it in out of the air. So we were fortunate here in the Midwest to have that kind of weather, that kind of climate where we do have thunderstorms that will clean out the air up to 60, maybe even 70,000 feet.
Right.
Now, but that means that we talked earlier about the children, about the marriage possibilities for the girls that are being raised over there in Fukushima Prefecture, and they're becoming less marriageable because of the health effects that they are suffering from. They're no longer as healthy as girls that are being raised in other parts of Japan.
So their eggs are being radiated.
Well, and that they didn't factor that in, but eventually people are going to read something that tells them, oh, you mean that strontium-90 that they didn't measure got into our bones, and it's going to cause birth defects, and it's going to cause cancers, and it's going to it's just, we're going to have more abortions and more stillborns and more miscarriages. Oh, well, maybe I don't want to marry your daughter. You've been contaminated and you're just not marriageable material. I'll go further south where girls are more healthy. And we may have some of that here in the United States. especially California girls may not be as attractive as they once were. Of course, it's hard to say. The demographics are changing and the society's changing, and I don't know how many men want to raise families anymore. It used to just be what we did. We got up, we grew up, we got married, we had families, and then society changed, and I don't know when it changed. It changed when I was raising my family.
You were busy.
It moved away from me. Now, I do want to mention this nuclear waste tank at the Hanford site. The Hanford site is on the Columbia River. It leaks radiation into the Columbia River. Maybe they could use some of that fungus up there. And they have especially a tank, and they have a number called an AY-102, and it holds 860,000 gallons of, they say, radioactive waste. I think it's probably mixed waste, generated during decades of plutonium production. So this is a double-walled container, so it's got an inside. It's got a barrel inside of a barrel, and they're X-raying it or something so that they can tell. They know that the inner container is leaking, and that there's leakage into the space between the two containers. Mm-hmm. And they're calling this liquid bright green. The new video of the waste shows much more bright green liquid than workers had seen before, and the presence of green wet material means it is new. So that's, I don't know what happens to it when it gets old, but apparently it's not bright green.
All right. Hold that thought, and we got a break. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Glorious time to be free.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. This is J.R. Moore and Ann Morrison, substituting for Dr. Bill Deagle here on Friday, the 14th day of June. And we got several more topics we could cover briefly. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, I want to talk briefly about Hanford. And,
okay, please do.
Hanford has been a problem. They've known about the leaking for at least 40 years. I studied it in environmental school, and so it's a well-known problem, and they were supposed to have solved it, and they didn't solve it, and so now they still got a problem. And meanwhile, when you've got a mixed waste mixture, then you don't know what compounds you're forming. Some of them apparently are gaseous, and they have to burp these barrels. The last thing they did was they buried the barrels, which means that they can't turn them to burp them.
Right.
And not only that, apparently the barrels, because they don't know what's being formed, some of what's being formed is caustic, and it's eating holes through the inner barrel, which is where the liquid is stored.
Well,
and then they think it'll leak through the outer barrel. And meanwhile, these things are buried, and so they got the same problem that they had 20 years ago, except that they have to unbury the barrels in order to, I don't know, maybe they'll put them in an even bigger barrel. All right. The other thing is Palisades nuclear reaction, and that's in Michigan, and it has been dumping radioactive water into Lake Michigan, and not a lot. And then they've had continuing problems for the last 3 years. They discovered there was a leak in the control room, and that's been going on for 2 years, and they didn't find the source of the leak. They just, fixed the leak, put a